right, here we're going to show the operation of the boom and the tower. So as we saw before, tower up and down. To raise the tower up, we're going to go down on the joystick. Tower will raise. As you can see, as the tower raises, it takes the boom with it. And this is all something you'll control from up in the tower. You can do it from the ground. So you can put the back of the boom as well. The boom can go up and down, so we're going to take the boom up in the air. You can see the back of the boom raising by lifting up. The back of the boom is up. This is close to the position you're going to be when you insert into the drum the very first time. As you can see, if you can picture a concrete truck in the front there, you can lower that boom a little, but as you position the truck in front and you're in the tower, you can lower and raise the boom the way you need to sit it in that truck. Now from here you can retract and extend the boom. So to the right we're going to extend it, so we're going to push that boom forward. This is what you're going to do if you're going to, and part of your startup, to lower your nozzle so you can get in there and you can take off the covering on the nozzle, so you can clean out the case, the chain, and the nozzle, clean any debris out of it before use. Again, we're going to raise that boom up a little bit higher so we can get to that nozzle. Now we can lower our tower if we want it a little bit lower. Tower down. And these are all controls you'll do live in real time while you're in the truck. Generally the first half of the truck or so, the first 75% or so of the truck, you're not going to be messing too much with that. You're just going to be watching this boom to make sure and controlling the torpedo. The up and down and the raising of the boom and the tower really are only going to be utilized during startup insertion of the torpedo into the drum, and then when you're working your way out of the back of the drum, you're going to utilize the angles to be able to get the nozzle where you want it to be, as well as changing the ranges on the nozzle, so that way as you raise and lower, as you change the angle of that boom and change the angle of raise the tower, you want to get that nozzle surgically where you want it to be, and the ranges you can change those, as we just showed on the last video on the nozzle. You can also change the oscillation ranges on that. Another thing you can do, you have an auto retract. So when you have the auto retract on, it's going to back up at a certain speed. You can change that speed up and down with this switch right here. It's a little bit slow to do in live time, so you really won't see it well, but it's pretty self-explanatory when you're actually operating. You'll see what it is. And this is, again, all stuff that's listed in the manual on the startup and operation procedures. So let's show here. We've got our tower down low. Let's go ahead and take our boom, put our boom down. So now we would turn it off. We would leave it in this position, turn the machine off. We'd come in here and we would want to take and clean out all our debris. So we'd turn everything off, no water coming out, but for these purposes right here, you can see very little water. Of course, you don't want to be doing that, but that's the boost off. That's just a little bit of water coming out of there. But I'll tell you, you don't want to do that and have it down in this position while it's running. Very dangerous situation. So now I'll show you how the torpedo works, and this is going to happen while it's inside the drum. Let's put the torpedo down, or the torpedo's in the down position now. When you push this button to the right, that torpedo is going to start moving up, and this will do this inside the drum for the whole time it's going. And what you're doing when you're in that tower, up in that tower, is you're watching from this end on that end, up in this tower, looking down into that drum. As that drum is turning this way, this torpedo is going to work its way down ever so often. And as you can imagine, when you're in that drum, you want that torpedo to be at the angle and the oscillation of that jet to be to the back part, so you can get up in the top of the drum and clean everything out. But the idea of this is to make sure you can get up to the top of the drum and behind the blades. And as it's working its way back out of the truck, the blades, the cavities get shorter in between the blades. So the angle, that's where you will adjust the angle of the boom. You might be playing with the angle a little bit while it's in the drum, raising that boom, lowering it, depending on what it needs to be. But for the most part, you're going to be just watching that torpedo to make sure it does not catch. As that drum is turning this way, the blades have a tendency to rub across it, which they will do. You want that to happen. The actuation will allow it to go up and down by itself as long as it's in the up position. If you happen to see that the torpedo is getting caught by anything while it's inside the drum, which you will be seeing, that's what you're looking for. Main job as the operator during that first half of the drum or so. Quickly just drop this position to the down position over to the right, and it'll drop that boom, or it'll drop that torpedo. It'll go down. As soon as that gets down, by the time it gets down, you should have done a revolution in the drum blades. Kick it to up. You hit it in the up position, it goes right back up. You want this in the up position the whole time it is in the drum, as far as possible. And you will use it in the up position as you're backing out of the back of the drum while you are working a much narrower cavity, because the back of the blades are shorter. The back of the blade, or the back of the space in between the blades are shorter on the back, and the angle is a lot sharper because this boom is now back. This boom is now backed out and retracted from the actual drum. So you're a lot closer to where the actual pivot point is for the whole machine. So you're gonna have to work the torpedo up and down. So you might be dropping it quickly as those blades are turning, because you've got to keep it riding the blades, and then just quickly right back up. Hold it to the up position. I'm raising my boom, working that while possibly raising the tower while it's going. All that at one time while changing the oscillation. I can have my oscillation going, and I can change my ranges while it's in the front of the drum. I can do it while it's inside the drum, but you really don't want to do that too much. There's ranges that are specified for certain parts of the drum. It's when you get to the back that you can really control that nozzle, and the more experience you get at it, the better you're going to get with determining how just to keep that torpedo riding those blades and using the speed up and down, how fast you want it. I can make it go faster, up, and down. If I wanted to just sit in one spot and hit one spot, turn it off. And there again, if torpedo gets caught on the blade, that's what you're doing when you're sitting up in this, when you're up in this tower here. You're up in the tower and you're looking down at that jet, at that boom. And as that drum is turning, you're gonna catch, every now and then it's gonna push that way. It's gonna do that and then rock back. Push that way and then rock back. If you happen to see it catching too far to where and you'll see it turning on those blades quickly. As soon as you see it, torpedo down, boom, it'll drop it down. By the time that torpedo gets down, that blade should have gone back, and quickly, torpedo up to the right, hold it over, and get back up there, and just let that machine just continue to oscillate, continue to work for that first quarter, for the first 75% of the drum. That's how the control panel works. And again, all this is listed inside your manual. And to shut the machine down from this point, this is close to the off point, you're going to want to take and retract everything back. So first I'm going to drop my tower down. Generally I like to drop my tower. And you are going to have water coming out at this point when you're coming out of the truck. That's where you want it to be when you're coming out of the end of the truck. I'm going to drop my torpedo. Torpedo down. It's coming down. I'm going to lower the boom. Boom up. It's the front of the boom. So the controls are controlling the front, not the back. As soon as I get level, and again, you're going to be coming out of this truck at an angle, so you can actually pull this boom while it's down in the truck at the angle of the truck, and you're already going to be at a pretty high angle, and generally your tower is going to be up, so that's why we do the tower down first. But if you can imagine that boom, we can retract it all the way back up at that high angle. You'll see how it goes up. And again, it's going to auto retract while it's in the drum for the most part until the last quarter or so. Then you can control whether or not you want it to auto retract or do it by hand. You see the boom, and you're going to be right next to it on that tower right there. You can see it. So as you're coming out of the drum, and generally you can see that's a little low for where a truck would be. So your tower is going to be up here. So this is probably where you're going to be at when you're coming out of that drum. Pretty high on the tower. Because you're having to get into some pretty tight angles on the back of that drum. You can see you're pretty high right here. Now what you're going to want to do, first thing you get out of that tower, or you get out of that drum far enough, you're back. I'm retracting that boom again. I'm out of the back of the truck. See, it's extended all the way. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my tower down. Tower down. And then I'm gonna lower my boom. Remember, to lower the back end of it is up because you're raising the front of the boom. It seats inside that saddle back here. Boom's down. Retract it all the way again. Make sure I'm all the way back in there. And then from this point here, you can get down off the machine. You can hit the auto stop, but make sure you turn it back on. If the auto stop here, make sure you turn it back on. But you can leave the machine in this position, get up and down the ladder. The machine is on, it can run like this. It's good to go. Bring your next truck in, line your truck up, raise it back up, set your angles, insert the boom, repeat. When you shut the machine down, pretty simple, everything's turned down. Your high power water is down, your boost is going to be on right now to be able to move this. You're going to turn your boost off. You're going to see your water pressure drops down to 0 down here, no boost. That's coming from the pump. You hear the engine, clutch is engaged right now. I hit the clutch off button. Oh, the clutch is off, that's right. It's just the boost on, I'm sorry. Yeah, clutch is off, you're good to go. From this position right here, you can turn the machine to the off position. But for purposes right now, we want to go ahead and crank this up to 20,000 PSI. Let's see what we can get about to 12,000, 15,000 right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn our boost back on. The boost is a little low. We're at 60. We want to get up to 80. So what we're going to do, go into our setup screen. Boost CMD is a little low, so we're going to use this knob here, raise the boost, and as we do this, as I raise that, you can see over here, that gauge is going to go up. We want it up to about 80. Good operating shape. This isn't necessarily going to match over there, but that pressure needs to be at 80 over there. So we're in good shape right here. We're going to go back to the home screen. And we can do this from the remote. So we're going to turn on our high pressure water, HP water, and we're going to engage our clutch. Got high pressure, we got water coming out. See, right now we're about 2,500 PSI. PSI. It'll stay right here. 2,500. We can raise our water pressure. By using the rabbit and the tortoise. We can do it on the machine as well. So we can bump it up. Also do it on this right here with your rabbit. I put my rabbit up. My PSI goes up. You want to be careful not to go too fast as you're on the first start of the day. But after you've done a truck, you want to bring your temperature all the way back, your pressure all the way back down, and you can go up about every 5,000 every minute or so.